Hey everyone, welcome to Coding Simplified, and today we'll see a new problem in graph. So basically we are given a graph here and we are given one source and one destination. Now we need to check that whether it is possible to start from source and to reach to destination. So basically we need to find out that whether the path from source to destination is connected or not. And if it is connected, then there will be a path, otherwise there will not be a path, right? So in this question we'll see about the undirected graph. Now there can be multiple implementation of this question. So you can say one example is like, let's say these are the different islands. Now we need to say that let's say these are two islands and there is in between there is water. Now let's say if your source is 0 and if your destination is 6, so it means you need to start from this city of this island. You can say this is the island, and in this island there are multiple small tribals. Now is it possible to reach from this tribal to this tribal? So it is not, because in between there is water. It means this is not connected, right? But let's say if it was connected, if there was path between from here to here, so it means there was edge, so there was a path. So it means if it was there, then it was possible to reach here. But because there is no path, so it means it is not possible from source to destination. So this is one example. Now you can have multiple ways as well. Let's say if you talk about the airlines, so it is saying, okay, is it possible to reach from here to here? So it is possible to reach from here to here only if there is a path, right? So let's say if my source is 0 and my destination is 0, and let's say there is path from 3 to 5. And because this is undirected graph, so it means we can grow from any direction. So in this case this is possible, because what could happen, that I can start from 0 to 1, then 3, then 5, and then from 5 to 4, and then 6, right? So there is another path. So that's what our question is, that we are given source and destination and we need to find that whether there is a path exists or whether it is connected or not, right? So what we can do, we'll start the DFS approach from the source, and then we'll keep on visiting all the items. So basically we'll have a visited array here. This is a visited, and now we'll check that if we start from this source and once we are done with all the iteration, then whether the destination visited is true or not. And if the visited of the destination is not true, it means this is not connected, otherwise it will be connected. So like what we can do, we can have a DFS from the source. So DFS can be traversed via the stack, or we can have the recursive approach as well. So according to your requirement, or whatever you can choose. So now first of all we'll basically define a visited array. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here we have 6, because there are 6 indexes. Now at the starting all values are false, right? So this is my visited array. So what it will signify? It will signify that how many elements I have visited. So in DFS, if you solve via stack, so what happens, that first of all I basically visit the source. So what is the source? At this moment my source is 0. So now I put this value source here in the stack and I put the value here true, that I have visited true. Now the point is that how you are defining this graph. Now graph can be defined using the adjacency matrix or adjacency list, right? So here we are defining the graph via adjacency list. So how can we define, because this is an undirected graph? So first of all, the adjacency list means the list of list, and each index will point a list. So basically for each index we'll say, for each index there will be list, and that list will define the neighbors it has. So like first of all for 0, how many neighbors we have? We have neighbors in 1 and 2. So the neighbors will be 1 and 2. Now for the first how many neighbors are there? We have neighbors 0 and 3. So the neighbors are 0 and 3. Now for the second, how many neighbors we have? For the second we have only 0 neighbor. So we have this neighbor. Then for the 3, how many neighbors we have? We have only one neighbor, which is 1. For 4, how many neighbors we have? 5 and 6. For 5, how many neighbors we have? Only 4. And for 6, how many neighbors we have? For 6 we have neighbors as 4. So it means now we have defined our graph through this adjacency list, and where each index basically representing the index, these are the index, and their list, the list at this index is representing the neighbors it has. So what will happen, now I will remove the element from this stack, and I will do this until stack is not empty. right? So this is simple DFS approach that we are solving. Now we have removed this item 0, and we'll check from here that give me all the neighbors of this one. So it will give neighbors of 1 and 2. Now I will check that whether 1 is visited or not. So 1 is not visited, it means mark here true and put this value into stack. Now check the second neighbor whether 2 is visited. So 2 is also not visited, so put the value true here and put this value into stack. So now we are done with both the elements. Now because it is stack, so we'll pop the top element from here and it will give us 2. Now fetch all the neighbors of 2. So the neighbors of 2 is 0, and because 0 is already visited, so it means we won't do anything for this one. Now again we'll pop the top element. So this is 1. So what are all the neighbors? So all the neighbors of 1 is 0 and 3. So it means 0 and 3. And because 0 is already visited, so we won't do anything, but 3 is not visited. So we'll put 3 here as a true and we'll put 3 in the stack. Now what is the top element? Top element is 3. So remove the 3, and which are the neighbors of 3? The neighbors of 3 is 1. Right? So, and because 1 is already visited, so we won't do anything, and that's it. And now our stack is empty. Right? So it means my iterations all are done. So if you see, these values are true and these values are false. So what it represent? It represented if I start from this point, then only these elements were visited whose values are true. And you can see from here as well that if I start from here, I can reach to 1, 3 and 2, but I cannot reach to 4, 5, 6. So what I can do, at the last I will directly go to this visited array and I will find out that what is the visited destination value, and as per the value it will return me the answer whether it is false or true. Now if my destination was 6 with this index, so in this case it will be false. Let's say if my destination was 3, it means can I reach from 0 to 3? So yes, because this is true, so it means I can reach from 0 to 3. Now your source can have also like 2 and your destination can have 4. So in this case also what we'll do, we'll start from the 2. So when we start from the 2, again it will have only these values and these values will be false. So it will again return the false for this case. Right? So this is how we can check that whether there is a path from source to destination, or whether the source to destination path is connected or not. Right? And now if you talk about the time complexity in this case, so if you see what we are doing, if there are n indexes, so we are basically following the, let's say there are v vertices, so we are basically traversing the v elements. Now how many edges we have, that's also we are covering, because we are covering each and every edges. So it means my time complexity will be big O of v plus e. So this is my time complexity. And in the space complexity, what we are doing, we are basically representing the graph here. So if this is just a representation. So let's say if graph is already given, so it means then there is no need to consider this one because you have already given. You need to only find out the space of this one. So here we are taking this q, right, and here we are taking this stack to solve this question. So in between we are taking this one, so that is why it will be big O of n. So big O of n, I will say big O of v plus big O of v. So overall it will be big O of v, right? So that will be my time complexity and space complexity and the logic. And now let me show the code as well so that you can get it better. So here is my code. First of all, I am saying that how many nodes I have. Now this is the initialization of graph. So that we have already seen in our previous videos, but let me just brief it. So basically what we are saying that here we are initializing our graph. Now because my graph is of the adjacency list, so basically I will represent the graph is list of lists. So that is why if you see here the graph is a list of lists, and now here I'm initializing that, initialize the graph, initialize this list. Now I have this visited array. So first of all, I'm initializing that, initialize the visited array of this size, and then I have this nodes, that how many nodes I have. Now I know that in adjacency list, each list contains the particular list. So basically that list will represent the neighbors. So this is how this will basically create the new list for each index. And now after that, what we are doing, that once we have initialized the graph, then you are adding the edges. So when you are adding edges, so let's see this. So when you are adding edges, then you are adding in both the direction, because this is undirected graph. Let's say if it was directed, so you would add only one case, right? So now this is how you are adding the edges. So what you are doing, you are saying that get me the list at this index at A, and then add this value, add this B value here. So this is why it will add the 0 1, means it will add the 1 at the list of 0, and similarly it will add in both the direction, right? So once you have done that, after that it is calling that check if source to destination, if source connected to destination, and here we are passing our source and destination. So like in this case, my source is 0th index and my destination is 5th index. So now you will go here, and now I'm just calling the DFS on the source, right? So this is what we discussed, that we'll basically call the DFS on the same source. So now this is the way of calling the DFS. So what we do, we basically initialize a stack, and then first of all we put the starting value in the stack. Now the point is, DFS can be solved, either you can have this stack approach where you can take this stack and you can solve this, otherwise you can solve a recursive approach as well. So that I can show you as well. So now what will happen, so here you will initialize a stack, and at the starting you will put the starting index at the stack, and you will mark this visited as true. And now you will do this until the stack is not empty. So first of all you will pop the element from the stack, and then you will get that which are the neighbors of that value, and then you will, and if this neighbors is not visited, so you can see here that if the neighbors is not visited, because this is our calling not visited. So if the neighbors are not visited, then we'll push this value, we'll push this value into stack, and then we'll mark this value in the visited as true. So what will happen then, when DFS will keep on continue for this particular node or particular connected component, so at the last when stack will be empty, so it means we have visited all the elements which are connected to that particular start, right? So after that what will happen, after that you will again go here, and then you will check that if in the visited array, if this destination index, if it is visited, then it will be true, otherwise it will be false, right? So that's all we need to check here. Now as I was telling you, the DFS can be solved by two approaches. Either we can take a stack or we can have the recursive. The point is, even if you do the recursive approach, so internally it uses the stack, right? So that is why I was explaining here using stack, so that you can get it better that how it is happening. But here if you want to solve the DFS using the recursive approach, so what we can do, that as soon as you pass the start, first of all you will mark this start as true, and now you will get the neighbors list for this one. Now for each neighbor you will check that if this neighbor is not visited, so you will recursively call this DFS this DFS approach again, right? So what will happen, now you will call this DFS on this neighbor, so again it will call and it will mark at visited, and if it is visited, so it will not call again DFS, right? So this approach, this DFS approach, and the above approach, both are same. Is just that whatever you want, as per your choice, you can choose that, right? So this is a way through that we can check that whether the source is connected to destination or not. So that's all about this video, and if you have any doubts, then please write in the comment section. I will try to explain that. And I will also put the source code into description section, so if you want, then you can also get it from there. So that's it, and if you have liked the video, then please like it and subscribe the channel for more such videos. Thank you.